start, I would like to invite Tristana Martin Rubio from Engage at Concordia to give us the land acknowledgement before we begin. Tristana?
Thank you, Bruce. I would like to acknowledge that 2SLGBTQIA plus senior housing and care, a call to action, is taking place on unceded Indigenous lands. The Katahwa Nation is recognized as the custodians of the lands and waters on which we gather today. Montreal is historically known as a gathering place for many First Nations. Today, it is home to a diverse population of Indigenous and other peoples. Colonialism confounds chronology, and as such, we respect the continued connections with the past, the present, and the future in our ongoing relationships with Indigenous and other peoples within the Montreal community. Although this event is taking place on the unceded land of the Katahwa Nation, many of you are not watching from Montreal, so I invite you to reflect with us for a moment upon the lands and the histories where you find yourself now. Thank you, and welcome in. Over to you, Bruce.
Okay, thank you very much, Tristana, for that. It's important that I think we take time to reflect on the land acknowledgements that are important to all of us. I would like to thank everybody who's taken the time to be present, to come listen and learn about 2SLGBTQIA housing and care. Merci à tous qui sont inscrits de près ou de loin. Nous sommes très enthousiastes à l'idée de cet événement et nous espérons que tous les participants seront aussi motivés par le sujet que nous le sommes pour aller d'avant. We have several distinguished guests with us this morning who would like to offer a few words of welcome and remarks before we get underway. First off will be the MP from Mount Royal, Anthony Housefather. He's been in the riding since 2015. He was the chairman of the Standing Committee on Justice and Human Rights. He served as Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Labour, and in the recent election, he was appointed to serve as the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Public Services and Procurement. I am pleased to say he is also now person non grata in Russia. Mr. Housefather has been a longtime supporter of Gay and Grey, Montreal. He is in Ottawa today, but he has sent the following video. Riley, could you show the video?
Hi, this is Anthony Housefather, and I'm the Member of Parliament from Mount Royal. Gay and Grey is located in my riding, at least the office is, and it's an honor and a pleasure to join you at this really important conference. I want to thank Bruce Cameron. I want to thank Concordia University. I want to thank all of those people who were involved in speaking today to talk about the really important issue of safe and inclusive housing for LGBTQ plus seniors. Some of the most important victories that I've had as a member of parliament have been in securing rights for the LGBTQ plus community. When I was chairman of the Justice Committee, I was deeply involved in the bill that safeguarded gender identity and gender expression rights and ensured that they were included in the Canada Human Rights Act. I was instrumental in removing criminal code provisions that had targeted gay men, such as the body house provisions, when we reformed the criminal code with Bill C-75. And I will always be there to defend the rights of LGBTQ plus Canadians of all ages, no matter what. It is so important that when LGBTQ plus seniors need to go into any type of institutional housing, you do not need to go back in the closet. Your generation has already suffered so much discrimination. It would be untenable to not have safe and inclusive housing for LGBTQ plus seniors. That means autonomous housing, and that means housing when you have to live with others. And it is incumbent upon us, whether through the New Horizons Fund that we use to help fund this conference that we gave Gay and Grey, or other measures, the federal government needs to have your back. The National Housing Strategy is very inclusive for seniors and from different communities, and we need to make sure that LGBTQ plus seniors are part of that. 100%. Donc, c'est un grand plaisir d'être avec vous aujourd'hui. Malheureusement, je suis à Ottawa aujourd'hui et j'ai pas pu être avec vous en personne, mais c'est un plaisir et je vous souhaite une bonne conférence. I wish you a great day.
Thank you so much for that, Ms. Anthony. Second, we have David Bernbaum, who is the provincial MNA from Darcy McGree since 2014. He's a busy man. He's the official opposition critic for Canadian Francophonie, the opposition critic for relations with the English-speaking Quebecers, the opposition critic for the Canadian intergovernmental relations, and not last but least, and David's very active here, is the opposition critic for mental health. David is shown to be a true ally of grassroots causes and has shown significant support for gay and grey. A true ally, I will ask David now to say a few words. David?
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Merci aux invités et merci de l'invitation de prononcer quelques petits mots. What could be more Canadian, my apologies, but than a political speech from a Tim Hortons? I'm on my way back from Quebec City, from the National Assembly. If I talk too loud and someone hits me with a Timbit, you'll indulge me and understand. I'll do my best and be quite brief. I want to honor what you're doing today. It's so crucially important. I'm proud to be part of an official opposition that, and to serve with my chef, Dominic Anglade, who was the first to name a parliamentary critic for LGBTQ plus communities. I've been honored to offer what support I can to gay and grey. And I can only imagine the importance of this conference because in the context of the pandemic, we've all seen how difficult and challenging the options available to seniors are. And I don't have to tell you how many additional levels of challenge undoubtedly are added to those of you from these diverse communities, which makes this conference so important. I do hope that in addition to identifying those obstacles, you will all learn with inspiration of some of the innovative and smart and determined strategies that are being developed across the country to make sure things are better. Whether it's fighting willful ignorance and hostility, or perhaps more understandable lack of sensitivity from those who are of different generations. The kind of behaviors that can make your lives additionally difficult have to stop, and the kinds of obstacles to fair and equitable housing that so exponentially affect all of you have to be removed as well. You'll allow me, before I have to sign off, one more shout out. Take out your pens when my old partner in crime, Ruth Pelchy, takes the mic. I'm honored to see Ruth again. She'll remind you exactly when to get mad and when to get even and take notes because she's always right. My very best to all of you for a successful and inspiring conference. Yes.
Thank you very much, David. We too are quite anxious to hear what Ruth has to say. Finally, or looking at the municipal level, I'm pleased to say that we have Gracia Kasoki Katahwa with us today. Gracia is the newly elected borough mayor for Côte-des-Neiges Notre-Dame-de-Grâce. She is the assistant majority leader, member of the Public Security Commission, and board member of our STM. With a strong background in healthcare and passion for economic and social development, it's my pleasure to introduce Gracia. Gracia?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invitation this morning. And more importantly, thank you for the services that you provide to our 2SLGBTQIA plus seniors. I just want to say, hi to my colleague, Mr. Bernbaum. Also, Mr. Sonny Moroz is with us as well this morning. I hope I'm not forgetting any other political official. So for me, it is really critical to provide support to all segments of the 2SLGBTQIA plus population, especially those who are at the intersection of different statuses, be the age, mobility, or race, for example. So at the City of Montreal, we believe that everyone has the right to grow old in safety, security, and dignity. The work that groups like yours provide to seniors is essential, which is why myself and also my colleagues at the Borough Council, Sonny Moroz and Stephanie Valenzuela, we decided to contribute to the financing of this conference. So you can see that the issues you are discussing here today are important for our borough. The discussions are important in order to identify both the problems facing your community and, crucially, also potential solutions. So I look forward to hearing the fruits of your discussions, and I encourage you to contact my office to discuss any ideas that emerge to help gay seniors in the borough, and we certainly want to help your effort to make it a thriving community. So thank you very much, and I wish you a good conference today.
Thank you so much for that, Gracia, and for sure we'll be in touch. Finally, I take great pleasure to have Sonny Moroz with us today. Sonny is currently the city councillor for the Snowden district in the CDN-NDG borough. Sonny has been our go-to guy for help when he worked at the federal level and has always shown his support for gay and grey Montreal. Whether federally or municipally, I know that Sonny is a true ally. I am pleased to have Sonny say a few words. Sonny?
Thank you so much, Bruce. Good morning to everybody. Bon matin à tous. Thank you to La Mairesse Gracia, as well as David, for taking the time, although it's hard to find out where you are because I'm sure there's tidbits being thrown at you all the way between Montreal and Quebec City. That's just a joke. It's an election year, and obviously Anthony is somebody who advocates for our rights on a regular basis downtown Ottawa, and both locally. So if you ever need something from Anthony and you don't know who to ask, I would encourage you to reach out to him. He's a good place to start. It's a true honor to be here. As Bruce mentioned, I've been in support of the organization and many others in the area over my course as an assistant to the Member of Parliament for 6 years. And really what I just wanted to bring my support, attention to the issues that are going to be brought up in this conference, and let you know a little bit how you can use me if ever you need to. You can reach out to me directly. I can find possible sources of funding for your activities. Like the New Horizons for Senior program, there are programs that you don't know your taxes pay for that you can access with your ideas, whether they're innovative ideas that you don't have underway yet, or already established core programming that you're looking for additional funding, whether for program capacity building or for helping develop employment opportunities and strategies. There are funds available. We have a gender-based analysis plus movement within the governments at all levels that are trying to establish these levels of equity and equality within our system. And you have to think that these funds are actually meant to help you and your ideas. So I hope through this conference we can hear each other speak and listen to the panelists discuss how they go into depth on their issue, and we can learn from one another. And I'm going to put my cell and my email in the chat. I would encourage you to reach out. Even if you don't know where to start, I can find you your next few options. And that's really what I want to bring to the conference today, as well as my attention. Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you so much, Sonny. That's for sure you're on our list of people to call as well.